All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about a decision that, honestly, can make or break your software delivery: how to choose an enterprise AI testing platform. And trust me, this is so much more than a technical choice. It's about how much confidence your entire business has in every single thing you release. Okay, let's be real. We've all seen those slick vendor demos, right? The ones where an AI magically spits out a perfect test script in like 5 seconds. It looks incredible. But what that shiny demo never shows you is the messy reality. What happens when you've got to run thousands of tests overnight across different continents? Or when an auditor shows up and needs a full compliance report, like yesterday? That's where the platform really shows its true colors. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you look past all the marketing hype and pick a tool that won't just crumble when you throw the full weight of an enterprise at it? How do you avoid creating automation that's fragile, or even worse, a compliance nightmare? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. To see past the demo, you need an insider's playbook. So we're going to walk through a core evaluation framework that's built on 5 absolutely essential pillars. Think of this as your blueprint for making a choice that's not just smart, but sustainable. This is really the key mindset shift. We have to stop just looking at a checklist of features. Instead, we're going to evaluate the platform's fundamental ability to perform under the insane pressure of a real-world enterprise environment. It's all about resilience, not just a flashy feature list. And here they are. These are the 5 pillars that are gonna guide us. We've got scalability and performance, insights and analytics, flexibility and control, the need for a truly unified platform, and last but definitely not least, the absolute non-negotiable, governance and compliance. So let's kick things off with the first one. First up, scalability and performance. Look, at the enterprise level, you're not running 10 tests. You are running thousands, often at the same time, across web, mobile, APIs, you name it. Your tool needs an elastic infrastructure that can spin up resources for a massive nightly run and then spin right back down so you're not burning cash. And this is also where things like smart retries become total lifesavers. They stop a tiny network hiccup from failing a huge test run and save your team from hours of pointless debugging. Next up, let's talk about the data deluge. When you run thousands of tests, you create a fire hose of data, and that can just become noise really, really fast. A great platform is one that turns all that noise into a clear signal. It automatically clusters defects, it uses heat maps to show you where your coverage is weak, and it gives different dashboards to different people. So a developer gets a super detailed bug report, while an exec gets a simple "are we ready to release" view. Now, I'm skipping ahead for a second, because this pillar is arguably the most critical for any big company: governance and compliance. This is an absolute deal breaker. If you're in a regulated industry, think finance, healthcare, your tool has to meet standards like HIPAA or GDPR. It needs bulletproof audit logs to prove exactly what was tested and when. And this is huge. It has to guarantee that you own your test scripts. That's your intellectual property, not the vendor's. Okay, so we have the framework. Now let's actually put it to the test. This brings us to pillar 4, the need for a unified platform. See, a truly enterprise-ready platform has to handle the 2 fundamental types of testing, functional and non-functional, without you having to stitch together a bunch of different tools. Here's the simplest way to think about it. Functional testing asks the question, does it work? Like, can a user actually click the login button? Non-functional testing asks a different question. How well does it work? Can 1,000 users all log in at the exact same time without the whole system crashing and burning? You need both, period. The real difference hits home when you think about what happens when things fail. A functional failure? Okay, maybe one feature is broken. But a non-functional failure, that could mean your entire system is slow, unstable, or wide open to a security breach. Your app might technically function, but if it fails under real-world stress, it can still create a terrible user experience and just massive risk for the business. All right, this next part is maybe the single most important warning I can give you when you're looking at AI tools. And it hits right at the heart of our third pillar: flexibility and control. This is all about avoiding the dreaded black box trap, where the AI becomes this mysterious thing you can't control or even understand. Here's the nightmare scenario. You pick an AI tool that generates test scripts your team can't read, can't edit, and can't debug. If that happens, you're in deep trouble. You are completely locked into that vendor, and your automation is basically a ticking time bomb because nobody on your team knows how it actually works. It's a huge, huge long-term risk. So how do you protect yourself? Simple. You have these non-negotiable safeguards. You have to insist that any code the AI generates is readable and editable by your engineers. You demand full IP ownership. And you make sure the platform has manual overrides and super clear, transparent debugging tools. The AI should be your co-pilot, not some black box dictator calling all the shots. Here is a pro tip you can take into your very next meeting. When a vendor starts talking about how their AI just magically adapts to changes, challenge them. Say, great, show me the code it generates. How does my team edit it? If they can't give you a straight answer, you know that tool is not built for the long haul. It won't survive in a serious production environment. All right, we've covered the framework, how to apply it, and the biggest warning signs. Now, let's bring it all together into something you can actually use, the Enterprise Buyer's Checklist. This checklist basically weaponizes everything we've talked about into sharp, direct questions you can ask any vendor. Under a category like AI explainability, you've got, are the AI-generated scripts editable, reusable, and human-readable? Under governance, do we retain full ownership of all automation artifacts? It forces a simple yes or no on the stuff that actually matters. And ultimately, when you use a framework like this, you're elevating the whole conversation. You're not just buying a piece of software anymore. You are making a strategic business decision that directly impacts your company's reputation, its compliance, and its confidence in every single release. So as we wrap up, I'll just leave you with this one thought. The stability of your products and your entire company's confidence in what you ship, it literally all depends on making the right call here. The only question left is, are you asking the right questions? Thanks for tuning in.